So I just shared this woman's story, even though this happened a week ago, I just shared it today. And it is really interesting watching the reactions to this woman react to the aggressive behavior of Mike Zelenick of Home Medic, House Medic Home Construction Company. It's very interesting that this woman was in her driveway and that people took her reaction as being like a Karen or this black man that said, "Where was her man?" And some people that were questioning the fact that she was less than courteous to Mike Zelenick of House Medic. It's quite interesting that how this black woman responded is being policed. Her reaction is being policed. I find that to be quite interesting. Now, this person will be blocked from my page, but y'all needed to see this and to understand what I'm coming from. This person, 77 Phoenix 77, says, "Burb, the one screaming is the one who is presenting herself as the victim. Somehow I get the feeling that she was the one who instigated this to begin with. So far, we don't know his side. I think you made a mistake with this one. I wouldn't want to have her as a neighbor either because of how aggressive she is. No thanks." So this just feeds into the stereotypes that Black women are aggressive, but like it doesn't even take into account that this woman is in her own place. She needs to get out, and this person is blocking her. You wouldn't think that a professional, someone that works in a neighborhood, would know not to block someone. So why is she having to like even ask or kowtow or whatever? That man decided that she needed to be more courteous. Why? Why does he deserve that? And like this person, Racy says, again, you are a true testament that Black women do not have the luxury of defending themselves against microaggressions against them. Yet, if a woman who wasn't Black defended herself, she wouldn't be labeled as aggressive or difficult. She's supposed to just take it, right? After 400 years, I might add. And we have to also weave into the fact that this woman, she was probably being seen as uppity to begin with. She didn't just like take a knee or kiss the ring because this mighty white man was there. And like literally, as we watch these interactions, we have to know some of the history of this country and where women, Black women, fall in the hierarchy. But 77 Phoenix knows where we fall because she has the expectation that Black women are going to be aggressive. This woman was just minding her own business, trying to utilize her driveway. And then this man behaved like this. And like Black Butter says, Burb, there's so much coded language in 77 Phoenix comment that I should consider just blocking her, and I will. She continues with, "We're not doing any dog whistles towards Black women over here, Phoenix. Have the miserable, rhythmless, unseasoned day you deserve." This person says to Phoenix, "If he doesn't block her driveway, there's no problem. But he blocked her driveway. He, not her. Judge Judy would eat him alive in court. He was on her property and never once asked permission or even said thank you for letting me park on your property." Exactly. Why can't we focus on what he did? Because had he not put a note on her fence, she wouldn't have even said anything. All he had to do was let her out. She's not being unneighborly to want to use her driveway. He's being rude and inconsiderate. And that's what Uniquely Unique says. He should not have parked his vehicle blocking anyone's driveway in the first place and should not call a woman out of her name. Also, he did park in front of her driveway more than once, which resulted in this escalation. Think before you type unintelligent comments. That's the only reason why I'm going to leave this up for a little while, because clearly 77 Phoenix 77 did not think. And she's judging the reaction of this Black woman and just fitting it into the stereotype that she already believes about Black women. Oh Boo Yourself says, "We don't know his side, but he admitted to taking time out of his workday to call her a B word on camera." Chaos says she only started screaming after he called her a B word. You expected her to be calm after that is victim blaming. And it really is. They really do like expect us to take it on the chin or whatever. Like, why do Black women have to just sit there and be demure and calm when a person is disrespecting and being insulting towards us? And then we got Penny for your thoughts saying there's some microaggressions, but I have a couple of questions for her too. And I'm like what? She needs to leave in and out of her driveway. He blocked her in. You don't think contractors know better? And Gen X Single Free says, why? He repeatedly blocked her driveway. I would have paid for a tow for the next block after receiving that note. He doesn't deserve a thank you. And then Penny for your thoughts says, the first time someone is in your way if they move, do you say thank you? I do. And most folks tell me thank you when it's the other way around. But he's the one that popped all of this off. If he had not have been just being inconsiderate, then she wouldn't have even had to say anything to him. If she got the note upon returning from the first errand, he hadn't blocked her repeatedly yet. It only happened that one time. The fact that some people don't think others deserve courtesy even when the other person is in the wrong is a new one on me. I could be wrong. Carry on. You are wrong. You are literally wrong, because he escalated that by putting that note up. He escalated that because he thought that he was deserved something when he's the one that in fact was being uncourteous and not having manners and doing this. That's the reason why his name is circulating, and the reason why I'm going to put his name again on this video so it can continue to circulate. Um, this person at the bottom says, women don't owe you politeness when you block their way out of your own house that they pay for, therefore disrupting their day and being a nuisance. I would have called the cops the first time without even engaging with them at all. I wouldn't have called the cops. It was probably easier just to say, I need to get out of here. It could literally be just that. I need to get out of here. I've done that before, saying I need to get out of here. It's not that it's rude, it's just matter of fact. But people expect some entertainment, some smiley face from a woman. And I'm trying to figure out why they deserve that. And then we got this man. Where's her man at? Sounds like Mike needs a serious talking to. But this just goes back to, why can't women just get respect simply because we're human? Just saying, like, when men try to talk about single women and they're like, well, this wouldn't have happened if she had a husband and all of that. Why? Like, literally, our husbands can't be connected to us at all times. And like, literally, if her husband works or her husband's out of town, does that mean that she shouldn't have have access to her driveway, that she shouldn't have the basic decency of another person? People just don't understand that women, Black women, deserve the simple courtesy of being able to live and thrive and utilize their homes and all of that. But you got men that don't think that women should have the assertiveness to be able to like speak up for themselves. Where's your man at? That's that incestuous, that misogyny that's just woven into the fabric of America, the globe, the patriarchy, or whatever. I don't even know if this person is meaning it to be that way. It's just go get the man to handle this. Whereas no, this literally could have just been taken care of by that man, Mike, just doing what he needed to do and not blocking. We're not connected to our husbands at all time. Anyways, I'm about to share with you her follow-up because she did give us a follow-up.
TikTok, listen to this amazing community. Let me take a minute to tell y'all thank you. I posted a video on Friday asking for the assistance of this community. And as of today, which is Tuesday, hundreds of thousands of you all have interacted with that video. And I needed to pause to say thank you to every person who took the time to watch it, to comment, to repost, and to share, because those actions, whether your comments were in agreement with me or disagreement, those actions allowed more and more people to see it. And let me tell y'all, you all made a difference. So I needed to tell this community, thank you. And I know so many of you had so many questions. And by the time I looked at it, it was so many comments, there was no way that I could interact with them. But let me just say this, y'all, my husband wasn't home. If my husband was home, I wouldn't have been out here. And two, listen, I'm trying to live in my soft era. Come on now. I wasn't out here trying to call tow trucks and parking enforcement and police, because I really thought it wasn't a big deal. But we ain't going to recap that. Matter of fact, we're not going to even say that fool's name or really talk about that foolishness. But let me just say this. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't a big deal. At least I didn't think it was going to be, right? So with that being said, I know whether you agree with how I handled the situation or not, I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. I appreciate you taking the time to comment. Because let me say this, as a result, well, I'm not going to say his name or the name of his business because I don't need that kind of energy. Listen, it's Black History Month, and folks out here trying to say we ain't celebrating it, but we are. But anyway, as I was saying, as a result, if you do Google him, if you Google his name, if you Google his business, guess what comes up? My video. And so I'm hoping, one, that he'll see it and that it will be a reminder for him to be kind. Be kind to people. Two, I really do hope potential customers will see it. And as a result, they will choose somebody else. So listen, I just wanted to say thank you and let this community know that I appreciate the collective voices coming together and working in my favor. Listen, and if you ever doubt the power of community, if you ever doubt the power that we have as a people when we come together and use our collective voice, listen, come back to this because you all have made some changes. And I know, and for all the questions, did I file a complaint with the California Construction and Licensing Board? Yes, I did. Did I talk to my neighbor? So we live in a single family home, but the home that was getting the unit, the place that was getting the fence is multi-units. So I had to find out who the owner was and all of that. And I've been living here like a little over a year, right? My family and we moved here a little over a year. So, I'm still getting to know my neighbors, but that is neither here nor there. At the end of the day, whether you would have done something different or done the same thing, you all came together for me. And I need to tell y'all thank you. So thank you. I appreciate that. So listen, y'all have a super amazing day. And don't go making problems where there are none.
We all love these find out season stories and these FAFO stories and all of these voter regret stories. I love them. The leopards are feasting. Anyways, this was posted in the Optimist Unite subreddit. She said, or he or she said, it happened. The office Trump supporter is pissed. Oh, it just warms my heart. She says, I've been seeing posts from people describing the Trump supporters in their life expressing anger over how Trump has started his second term. I just wanted to add to the pile. My office has one vocal Trump supporter. He claims he's an independent with no party affiliation, but you know the type. Despite being an independent, he always seems to defend anything Trump does and chuckle to himself about any Sleepy Joe or I did that right-wing meme BS. When he tries to discuss politics, I typically politely disengage. I don't have the mental energy to deal with it. I know I'll get too heated for the workplace. Today, he comes in, he gets real close to me, his typical, I'm about to say some old man boomer nonsense move he doesn't want other people to hear. To my surprise, can you believe this Musk guy with his hands in the treasury? I didn't vote for Musk. I don't trust him. He's a bandit. I'm in shock. I've never heard him say anything bad about any Republican decision in the years I've known him. And it kept going. And the cabinet appointees, alcoholics, drug addicts, rapists, women beaters, it's disgusting. Yes, it was disgusting when you voted for Trump, who is okay, never mind. Let's continue. I know there will be plenty of Trump supporters still holding on, doing mental gymnastics. We'll defend anything that happens, but it's clear that whatever almost magical hold Trump has over people does not extend to Musk and his cronies, refuses to believe Trump is a rapist or a criminal, but everyone else around him is seen for what they are. In his words, if Musk touches my Social Security, I'm going to go down there myself and drag him out. It may seem small, but every person who sees this, at least Musk, for what he is a win. She says, Edit. Loving all the comments calling me a bot or saying this didn't happen. Don't know what to tell you. It 100% happened. Don't believe me all you want, but get the F out of this sub while you do. I guess in this sub, they are talking about different people having the find out seasons. And, there it's called Optimists Unite. So maybe they're optimistic that things could shift. But as they tell these stories, I'm just happy for the find out season stories. So I went ahead and joined this sub. All right, some of the comments. And remember, this is the Optimist Unite subreddit. So they have a rosier experience or a rosier slant than me. I'm petty. I'm petty. All right, so Any Judgment says, do not be complacent when you hear stories like this. Be optimistic, but not complacent. Garrett says, also, don't gloat. Reinforce their feelings and bring up things you might agree with. Once they're sure you see the same problems as them, you can start to introduce, isn't it odd that Republicans are all against good things? So like I said, this is the optimistic slant where they say, don't gloat. That would be different from me because I laugh because I'm petty. Separate Today says, this is the way to go about it. The person at the bottom just say Musk and shake your head in disbelief. Okay, the next post that I saw, this person says, okay, some Trump voters are questioning things. This person says, I'm 100% prepared to be called a bot, and that's totally fair because I only joined Reddit in the wake of the inauguration to get real news and get off socials. That said, I am a real person. Believe me if you want. I wasn't believing a lot of the posts like this, and I'm still very skeptical of most. I went on a play date with a pretty new mom friend today. She knew my political leanings, and I was pretty sure I knew hers. Over the course of that hour and a half, she gradually opened up about being really scared and confused. She acknowledged that she's been really ignorant and hasn't taken the time to educate herself, that she ultimately followed her boyfriend's advice and isn't sure what to believe. I just listened to her and validated her. I acknowledged my bias and shared with her what I know. She asked for resources and what we could do. She expressed despair and fear and shame and overwhelm and confusion. I sent her what resources I have. I'd love if you all had some more unbiased ones that I can share with her. So, as we talk one-on-one with people, we might sense some regret. Honestly, regret doesn't mean anything unless they actually change behaviors. So to me, how I feel about it, I think people have to hurt a lot more before they shift their voting patterns. That's me. I believe that they need to hurt. These people, they are willing to share and be compassionate and stuff. And so that slant might work too. So we'll see. Unable Performance says, I was very hesitant when I started seeing these posts as well, but I had a neighbor reach out to ask me questions about the Department of Education and what was going on. I was shocked because she homeschools and they had a Trump sign in their yard before the election. She says she really cares about public education despite not using it. I know she has a nephew with autism, so I made sure to let her know how the Department of Education helps with funding for children with disabilities. She seemed really distraught, hopefully enough to wake them up. So we shall see. Spare Willingness says, tell her to call her representatives and voice her dissatisfaction. They only care about being elected, and they'll turn on him with enough confidence they're doing so at the will of their constituents. Unable Performance said, oh, I did. I've told my whole mommy group. I may have made an enemy out of myself, but if just a couple of them call, it's worth it. And then Logical Parameter says, why are so many women and mothers Republicans? It's so icky. They're the ones taking your rights away, ladies. And then Unable Performance says, it's definitely frustrating. Unfortunately, social media with the crunchy to alt-right pipeline is very real. There's also a huge conspiracy theory push, and I think mothers and white women have been a target. Unfortunately, I've seen it with my sister-in-law. You can't even have a constructive discussion about politics when they're not even grounded in reality. Jane Money Sherlock says, I think because even though it's probably the biggest moral topic we go back and forth on, abortion affects very few of the demographic of women who vote. Multiple other topics affect them more directly and carry more weight. A woman over 45 isn't really worried about getting her abortion rights stripped away. She might be more concerned with the immigration policy, for example. Logical parameter says, I wasn't speaking of abortion. When conservatives are in complete power of countries, women lose their rights in many other ways, especially if they're not white and or born of wealth and privilege. They're losing no-fault divorce. They're losing the right to vote. They're losing the fair pay battle. They're losing all of the advancements since the women liberation movement of the 1960s on back to the women's suffrage movements. Yes, we're losing so many things. And it's crazy that women, even if they are able to get an abortion, can't think about the other women and girls in places where they can't. And like she mentioned, all of the rest of the things that are being systematically stripped from women. And I want to end with this one. This person says, ironically, Trump may actually unite us. This person says, Trump is merely a symptom of what is wrong with the US. The virus is that Americans increasingly believe that they are not represented, that legislators at both federal and state levels serve corporations and high worth individuals. Trump was merely wily enough to tap into that anger and mistrust, flame it, and let it carry him twice to the presidency. He doesn't actually intend on serving the everyday American any more than any other politician, even less so. But unlike the first term, he's so blatant about his policies serving billionaires like himself and his friends that his supporters are beginning to see him for what he really is. The left and the right in the United States have been at each other's throats because that's where the politicians want us. As long as the problem is with one another, the problem isn't with the system itself. We remain fixated on each other instead of focusing on the actual problem, that you pale in importance as compared to corporate and billionaire interests, because that's who keeps politicians in power. But Trump's move have been so bad and will be so detrimental to the average American that Americans, regardless of political affiliation, may wake to the actual problem and finally unite against the influence corporate and high worth individuals have on policy, elections, and lawmaking. An optimist can dream anyways. Back in the day when it was declared that businesses or corporations could actually vote like people and have an interest in politics, I knew that things were going to go the way that they have been going, where corporations and people with millions and billions of dollars have so much more power than the rest of us. And it has shown that that has been detrimental to us everyday people. So maybe this person is right. Maybe this optimist is saying things like this because if enough of these people get angry at the right folks, then maybe, just maybe, things could shift. We don't know. We don't know if they're angry enough just yet or if they're living in reality just yet. But like she says, an optimist can dream anyways. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. I was tagged in this post a couple of times. This is something that we have talked about before. Do not date these men that have babies. Just don't. She asked this question in the Am I the A-hole subreddit. She says, am I the a-hole for not dating a single dad, even if he's a victim? We don't know that he's a victim. She doesn't know if he's a victim. He says that he's a victim, but he is a victim of his own situation. It's not her problem to solve. Anyways, she says, I, 19-year-old woman, recently went on a date with a guy, Ben, who's 25, after meeting him through mutual friends. He was nice enough at first, but I found out that he has two kids. One is a 7-year-old boy, which means he became a dad at 18 with a 19-year-old, and the other is a 2-year-old boy. I've always known I don't want to date someone with kids. There was nothing wrong with him as a person, but I just couldn't see myself in that situation long term. I'm not particularly a fan of kids. If I have my own someday, we'll see, but that's not happening anytime soon. However, I don't think I can handle being a stepmother. After our first date, he messaged me saying he really liked me and wanted to see me again. I politely told him I don't think it will work out. That's when he started pressuring me for a reason. He said he thought we clicked so well, we had the same interest, And he didn't understand why I was saying no. I tried to keep it vague at first, but he kept pushing. So I finally told him I wasn't comfortable dating someone with kids. Listen to this part. That set him off. He started saying things like how he thought younger girls liked experienced men and that I was being judgmental. And then he said he didn't plan for any of this to happen and asked, "Don't you think I'm a victim? I was just a dumb kid when I had my first, and the second one was a surprise. I don't even see, I guess, his kids, so my kids that often, and we wouldn't have any problems. I was baby trapped. I have it way harder than you." At that point, I was done. I didn't reply to him anymore. The mutual friends who set us up, he told them. They said I was being judgmental. Nobody these days cares about how many baby mamas someone has or about being a stepmom. I told them I just don't see myself in that position. My friend said, listen to this, they understand, but that I should apologize to Ben. What? So, should I do it? I don't think I'm wrong, but my friends say apologizing would make peace for their relationship with Ben too. Am I the a hole? Absolutely not. You are not the a hole. They are a holes for telling you to apologize to repair their relationship. Absolutely not. And then Ben. So Ben is 25, she's 19. He thought that, this 19-year-old was ripe for the picking. He calls her a younger girl. So he knew that she was younger. And he just thought that he was going to pluck her up and put her in this position. Then he starts to claim that he was a victim. A victim of what? Was he choosing to not wear a condom? Like, where is he a victim in all of this? And even if he is a victim, that is not her. I mean, that's not her problem. If she says that she doesn't want to date a man with children, these people need to, come to grips with the fact that women do have choices. And for the mutual friends saying that she's judgmental because she has choices and saying that nobody these days cares about baby's mamas and nobody these days cares about being a stepmom. Well, obviously this woman does, this young lady does. So maybe they need to revamp their talking points and what people care about because maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care. But this young lady clearly does. And not everybody wants to date a man with children because we're talking about these things. We see that a lot of the times the men dump the children onto the woman. And even this man said, um, we don't have that problem because he doesn't see his kids that often. He doesn't see his kids that often. So he was able to make babies and then just drop them off. And he's able to have a stress free, responsibility free life and just go ahead and maybe even drop some baby batter in this young lady. And then she will be in the same position as those other two women. I'm assuming that there's two women. So then she's going to be saddled with children just like those other women. She is well within her rights to say no. And I encourage, if you are 19 years old, please don't mess with these people with babies. Just don't. Be free. And I was tagged in this post. A lot of times I don't comment on posts. I just take screenshots, but I did feel compelled to make a comment. I said, you're well within your rights to date who you want. Men are unapologetic in dating who they want. I say, definitely do not date men with kids. Many times they need a woman to unload some of their parental responsibilities. You're young. Don't saddle yourself to a man with kids. Go be free. Enjoy your 20s. Don't be a stepmom. Please don't be a stepmom. Be free. And these men do like to baby trap women. They like to anchor. And if he gets his hands on her, he will drop some baby batter in her and anchor her down. Be free. Enjoy your 20s. Fluffy Pollution says, not the a-hole. He played the victim card for sympathy. Red flag. Don't allow your friends to set you up anymore. This person, Red, says, right, been scratching my head at that one. So he had unprotected sex, had 2 kids, and he's the victim? Nah, she needs to ignore everyone who says she's being judgmental. He's just a fool. A tool. He's just a tool. My bad. I guess fool would work as well. Bella Berry says he needs to own his decision instead of deflecting blame. Dating a guy with kids when you're not interested is completely valid. Don't apologize. Icy Blue Dragon says also she's 19. I doubt there are many 19-year-olds who say, yeah, let's be a stepmom. Expecting that from her is ridiculous. She obviously would not be in the wrong, whatever age she was, but it's especially laughable because of her age. Absolutely. Um, Blood of Hell says also, if he was a dumb kid at 18 years old from his view as a 25-year-old, it says too much about how he views her, who's a 19-year-old. He's not a victim at all, but he surely searches for women who will become one because of him. Great point. He knows at what he says he was dumb at 18 or 19 years old. So he figures she must be dumb at 19 years old. He is looking for someone that is naive enough to take him on. And she said, nah, fam, get someone else to do it. This person continues with, and we can't say it enough, no is a complete answer. Just him pressuring her is a big red flag. Spite Maleficent said, I thought young women liked experienced older men. Red flags all around. FinFan says, yeah, this reads like someone who gets their dating advice from people who are under suspicion for human trafficking. I wonder who they're talking about that right there, under suspicion for human trafficking. Could that be advice from the top G, the top potato? I think that is who they're referencing right there. Nemesis says, you're not the a-hole. You know that you didn't want to date someone who has kids. It would have been a disservice to both of you if you were to continue to pursue this potential relationship. In any case, this guy is a single father. His focus should be more on raising his kids than having a romantic relationship. Honestly, he's a walking red flag. Like, are we sure that he was baby trapped or he was the one who baby trapped his children's mothers? He sounds like a deadbeat and a future resident of the Old Man Mojo Dojo Casa House. It's clear that he's looking for someone to raise his kids. For the new people who may not have been on my page for very long, the Old Man Mojo Dojo Casa House is a place where these men who don't pay attention to their children, neglect their relationships, they're going to have to go somewhere. And we decided it's going to be the Old Man Mojo Dojo Casa House. People do use that language because we have talked about it in this community. Do not be Barb the Builder. You're better off not being with this guy. And if your mutual friends keep pressuring you to apologize, tell them, why should you apologize to him when he didn't take your initial no thanks for an answer? He was the one who kept pushing for the reason why you didn't want to go out with him. If he can't handle rejection or the reason why, he shouldn't have asked. Clearly, Ben is a predator who's looking for younger women to take their time, energy, and resources because women who are his age wouldn't give him the time of day. We need young women to know and understand that you are the resource. They attach to you to suck your life force. Do not allow older men to, or any man to suck your time, energy, and resources and your life force. Anyways, join the conversation. Let me know what you think of this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.